Welcome to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Let's Talk Cars Radio is sponsored in part by Napa Car Care Centers, BDG Auto Group, by Liberty Transmissions in Virginia Beach, American Do-It-Yourself Garage, J.F. Whitlow Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Portsmouth, and by Bob Barnum and the Perfect House team. Be a part of the program today by calling 757-222-3705. Text your comments during the show to 757-866-2192. Email your questions and comments to Dave at letstalkcarsradio.com. Now, here is the host of Let's Talk Cars Radio, Dave Palach.
Happy Saturday, America. You're listening to Let's Talk Cars Radio on WKQA Freedom Radio. I'm your host, Big Davey P, hanging out with Cameron Chaos and Nate VB. And once again, it is Saturday. That's right. We are continuing on with our vacation episode. That's right. So I need a little vacation time. We're running out to the end of it. We decided you guys needed to still have fresh new shows. So here we go again. New topic, new day. You guys ready for it? You ready for it?
I'm ready. Born ready.
He's like, I was born ready. So here's one of those things that always comes around on this show because we have to talk about it because craziness ensues. And then I'm curious on your guys' input. So idiot drivers, they're everywhere, right? We can all agree upon they're everywhere.
Yes, they are.
Don't even get me started with it.
So
speed limit signs. So am I right?
He's like speed limit signs. Am I right?
The left lane's the fast lane.
Left lane's the fast lane, right lane's the slow lane, and the far right lane.
Who taught you how to use
You're not
an
supposed to get in the
exit?
far right lane except for only at certain times, right, Cameron?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh. Wow, you bring it. It's only been and I'm billing that one to you. All right, you're getting that one. I'm billing that one to you.
So I don't know. Here's one of the questions that we've asked before, and I got some weird feedback from it. And do you think that it would like behoove us as like a nation to at some point in time make people to go back and just recap and take like just like a road test every once in a while just to freshen up on things? I'm not saying like, hey, we're going to take your driver's license away from you. It's like maybe like every so many years, hey man, you just need to go recap or something.
Take an improvement class.
Just like go take an improvement class. Like you need to go do something like refresh up on like the rule. Somehow do something.
Now,
I think people forget. I don't know.
I will say in today's time, yes. I would say probably back then, no. And I feel like that's probably why we don't have that today.
Okay.
Because technology is growing faster and faster each year.
Okay.
And there's new things in cars that some people just don't understand or don't know how to work.
Okay.
And I feel like that's something that people should probably take consideration wise, especially with, autonomous cars coming into the market as well.
Okay. So here's something that we used to do back in the day. So we did car familiarization. Like we'd put somebody in their car, set them down, and then like make them like walk through everything in their car. Go, do you know how everything in this car works? You know how many people we found out that had no idea how everything in their car works?
Or if they even came with it.
They've been driving the car for like 6-7 years, and they have no idea how the stuff in their car works. Like they just know I get in, I turn the key, I drive, but like some of the functionality, like they have no idea how the windshield wipers spray in their car, or they didn't like certain things. I'm like, so
like the blinker fluid joke.
Oh, by the way, those plastic covers that are just covering your engine are plastic. They just pop off, okay?
Really? Because I know somebody's missing one off their engine that's been missing it for 6 months and has no clue, and it's still sitting in my garage.
I wonder
Is
who
it
that
my
is.
battery one?
Is it your what?
My battery one?
No, it's the whole top intake cover of your car has been off for 6 months. So
I haven't opened up my engine bay in a minute.
And this is what I'm telling you about. Car guys. People that are into cars and haven't lifted the hood in 6 months, just take a peek around and go,
Hey, wait,
how's that belt doing? How's that hose doing?
Wait, it was less than 6 months ago.
You just said
I
6
just
months.
didn't open it. I had one of my Napa shops open it because I didn't want it to work.
No, I'm just saying. So, but I'm not talking about a book test either, guys, just so we understand where I'm coming from. I'm not talking about a book test. I'm saying behind the wheel, just recap and have somebody just critique some of the things you do when you drive maybe some of your skills aren't as sharp as you think they are anymore. I have
maybe
people,
maybe you should have a book test though. There's new
'cause
signs
I'm
coming
not trying
out.
to take your driver's license away from you. That's not what this is for.
Well, it's not taking your driver's. It's just it's an improvement class. You're improving. You go to class to improve on what you don't know.
Okay, or maybe you forgot.
Right, or you forgot.
Apparently you forgot.
Because there's new rules coming out all the time.
Is it
There's
McDonald's
laws coming
or is it
out.
Waffle House?
There's, a lot-
Are you going to McDonald's or are you going to the Waffle House? It's on you.
but you know what I'm saying? Like things are changing to the point where some people aren't always in the news, so they don't know the new things that are coming out.
Okay, no, and I'm like I said, I'm right there with you because I've had so many people left-hand lane for some reason decide they need to go far right to take a right-hand turn, and they're just stop, come to a complete stop, and just stop because they want to all of a sudden decide they want to go right in the right-hand turn, and they
don't want to miss it.
45 mile an hour. They don't want to miss it, so they just dead stop, lock up the brakes,
And wait. And
turn on their
wait.
turn on their blurn signal. They're blurn. They turn on that blurn signal because they want to blend into traffic. So it's a blurn signal. It's not a turn signal.
It's not a
It's
turn
the
signal.
blurn because they want to blend.
Blinker?
Yeah, no, blurn. It's
No,
the blurn signal
blinker.
because they're trying to blend into traffic. So it's the blurn signal. No, it's
You let
seriously.
me know when that's in the
That's a
English
new one.
dictionary.
I'm trying that one.
No,
I'm gonna try to get that one to be used now. It's
I'm
the
sorry,
blurn signal.
it doesn't get passed.
And they just stop and they just sit and everybody slam on the brakes because people are trying to keep from hitting them. And now I'm in this lane. I'm like, holy cow, as they try to come in front of me. So I got to slam my brakes. I got to hurry, hope that somebody behind me doesn't hit me. It happens all the time. I'm like, in what world did they think what they just tried to do is okay? And now I'm not mad. It's not that I'm upset. I am genuinely concerned for my safety, their safety, the people slam on the brakes, the people are trying to swerve around and keep from getting hit. And I've watched accidents happen because of it. I've almost been hit because of it as I'm trying to get out of the way.
So
I
was
don't know
telling
if people
Nate
forget. I don't know.
what was that? A couple days ago, we were going on the highway, and I was like, you can tell who uses this exit frequently
Right.
and who doesn't.
Right, because they know the flow and how,
they know
and
the
how
flow.
it works.
And
Right.
So I won't say the exit, just Parkway. So you know what I'm talking about.
Does it have an L in it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You know people use
so-
it. All right, yeah. Okay.
I don't understand because it happens every single day. Like you'd think people would learn, but the lane is all the way backed up onto the highway, and the people that use the road so many times knows there's a second lane that kicks out.
Right, so they go all the way down and then
So they
kick
go
right.
all
I
the
know how they
way
do it. Yeah, I know
down,
how
and then
do it. Yeah,
you come
I've
around
used
all
it.
the cars, and everybody's like looking at you like crazy, and then you wonder
Why did you guys
am
line
I-
up all the way? Yeah.
Well, not like that. You wonder why was I able to do that, and I'm also the number one car at the stoplight. Like, why didn't all those other
Okay,
cars
just so you
get
know,
into that lane?
before you were born, that off ramp had that same problem because I used to live. That was the off ramp to get to our house before you guys were born. That's exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, we used to live down there before you guys were born, and that was the same problem back then because I used to go down and get the left hand lane because of the very first light right there where the fast food place is now closed. I made that left hand turn to go that way to go home.
Yeah.
And it was the same problem back then.
And so I told Nate, I was like, they designed this as like overflow. Like if you see that it's coming, that starting to get over, but nobody uses that lane correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the people that do the 25 and the 45s, and then you have the people that don't know how to put on blinkers that I want to throw blinkers at.
I don't know. It's one of those things that you just.
And then you have officers on the side of your thing going,
I truly think that if we just had recap driving class, we just went to a driving class, you got behind the wheel with competent instructors, go, hey, you really ought to maybe.
We don't do that no more.
You maybe ought to turn. Yeah, maybe you need to turn on your signal way before you decide to do that to let people know what you're doing. Or hey, you don't even use your turn signals. Like you really should be using them. Just a re-instructor class because I think and here's another thing. I don't want to be that guy that says it, but like I think there's a certain age that maybe people should like not be driving. But who tells them? Like who's going to be the one to say, "Hey, mom, hey, dad, hey, whatever." Maybe it's time you stop driving and we start like putting you in ride share or something. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Good luck getting a ride share out here for grandma.
Right. Somebody should be having that conversation. You know what I mean? Like you have to have that conversation where you say, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, that's why you hit a test, though.
Who has that conversation?
Well, that's why you don't do by age. You just do by test. If you can't understand the test or you fail it and stuff, maybe you should have a license.
But maybe I'm just too nice. I don't want to be the one who is the one going, okay, I got to test you and see if you can pass this. I don't want it for that purpose. I want it for the purpose of re-education. But somebody at some point has to have the conversation with somebody. Like everybody, there's going to be a point in time I know where my kids are going to approach me and go, okay, Dad, you're going to have to probably give over
Hand me
those
your
keys.
keys.
Like it's just that time. I already
We
know.
ain't gonna say
I know.
keys.
And that time's going to happen to you guys when you guys get to a certain age.
Nate.
There would have been a time that I would have had to have that conversation with my dad. You know what I mean?
All right, Dad, it's time to hand over the Trans Am. We've waited since
Yeah,
you were
no,
99.
nice try. Yeah. So
See, that's going to be your
we're not talking about Trans Am. We're talking about everyday driving. There's a difference between the two. Trans Am can sit in the garage and look pretty all by itself. I don't need to hand you over the keys to it. So
I don't want it wrecked.
are you trying to get me worked up?
No temptations.
But I'm just saying, like,
He's like,
somebody
I'm gonna
has
stare
at
at
some
it.
point. Somebody has. I feel like nobody's being responsible. I see people behind the wheel. I'm not discriminating by age, but I have seen people all the time that are hunched up behind that wheel, can barely see over the top of that wheel. They're going 30 and a 55, and I'm like,
or they're
who in
leaning-
the world set these people loose out onto the road?
Or they're leaning like all the way up against the window
Right,
to look.
I understand they got to get places, and I get it. Like, look, but there is transportation that could take you somewhere, somehow, where they are not putting themselves at risk. And then I see people that are 33 years old that shouldn't be out on the road, have no business being driving out on the road. I mean, it doesn't matter age, but that's why I say there needs to be a re-instructing class every once in a while. You just take one just to refamiliarize yourself with things that you may have gotten lazy in your driving activities, and you're just not doing what you should be doing. And maybe you just need a re-corrective class. I mean, look, we go back in for retraining in things for work all the time. Work requires us sometimes to go back through some re-education and retraining in our jobs. Why aren't we doing it in driving? Because look, I mean, I'm sure there's things that when I drive, I probably aren't doing that I aren't even thinking about. So if somebody, a professional, was looking over and they go, hey, do you realize you picked up this bad habit? And I go, oh man, I had no idea.
I wish there was levels though. Like to
you could level up like a video.
Yeah.
This man wants to level up like a video.
When an officer pulls you over, they're like, "Sir, do you know how reckless you were driving?" Oh, you're master level. Never mind.
No, I got a better one for you. Sir, do you have any idea how fast you were driving? No, sir, I didn't. I got you at 120. Oh,
You're rated for 160.
Well, it looks like you're a level 60, and you captured the princess last time you played. So you have 20 bonus points that applies to it. So we knock that down, subtract 20 points from over the speed. You're good. I'm gonna have to let you go this time.
Start asking him like, "Sir, what is the max?"
No, I'm just saying. Maybe that's how you do.
You're a grandmaster? Okay.
You're like here. God bless. Wrong reference. Anyway, like I said, you should reward young drivers.
That's
I told you guys that
I know
before.
it's chess. I know what it is.
So for good behavior for young drivers, I said that we should give them points and then let them use those points and stuff like that towards like Taco Bell and stuff like that. Remember we talked about that before?
Yeah, we did.
If you did all that, you could actually go and you could actually take that and apply that in. I thought that was a really good program. If we could get that to work, it would be great. So I don't know if anybody wants to tell me how we can do all that. You can reach me at Dave at Let's Talk Cars Radio. Like I said,
Copyrighted.
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 On that note, guys, I got to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we got some more for you in the news. So you hold tight, and we'll be right back. I'll talk to you soon.
You're listening to Dave Palach on Let's Talk Cars Radio. Dave will be right back. Nobody remembers the name J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated until you need them. But when you have a toilet problem, drains back up, pipes freeze, your heat or air conditioning stops working, then you remember J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Don't forget the phone number, 399-1714. That's 399-1714. Air conditioning and heating, and all plumbing. J.F. Whitlow & Sons have been serving Hampton Roads since 1949. residential and commercial. You can always count on J.F. Whitlow and Sons to get to you fast and get the job done right the first time. Located in Portsmouth and serving all of Hampton Roads. Those who know, call J.F. Whitlow and Sons. Call them at 399-1714. That's 399-1714. J.F. Whitlow and Sons, Incorporated.
Something really cool happened in 1975. And no, it wasn't the beginning of the disco era. Congress passed the Magnuson-Moss Act, so you don't have to take your vehicle back to your dealer to keep your vehicle manufacturer's warranty in effect. Our Napa Auto Care Center uses the proper replacement parts and procedures to keep that warranty valid. Visit our independently owned Napa Auto Care Center today.
Hey guys, you asked for it and I delivered. Check out our all-star team of automotive specialists at NapaBDGHRVA.com. That's NapaBDGHRVA.com. Talk to you soon. Hey Michelle, thanks for coming in.
No problem. What is that?
Oh, Curtis dropped that off earlier this week. He calls it the excitement button. Every time you say Liberty, I'm supposed to push this button.
Liberty?
Yeah.
Liberty?
Oh, yeah.
Liberty?
Liberty Transmissions for the working man.
I don't know about this, Dave.
You gotta admit, it's got a ring to it.
Liberty Transmission, 233-3131. That's 233-3131. Better yet, visit them today. 5160 Singleton Way in Virginia Beach. 233-3131. Liberty Transmission. There's no place like home. Home is where the heart is. Home sweet home. Like every movie, book, and song, every story has a beginning and end. Let your story start today. Call Bob Barnum today at the Perfect House Team with the Real Estate Group.
Bob here from the Perfect House Team. From beginning to end, I'm ready to help you write your story. Call me today at 757-464-1003. That's 757-464-1003.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Now, back to your host, Dave Palach.
Hey guys, welcome back. So, I tell you, you can go from one topic to another. Ready? Here's the next one. Ready for this one?
Are you
ready?
So you can't finish it because it'll be copyrighted. But
all right, so the craziest thing that a lot of times comes across my desk, and people ask me the question all the time, and I get in these crazy conversations with people rather out at shows or comes in emails or texts or when I'm into the forums and I'm communicating with people and we're talking about topics that, like I said, normally you're back at this table for us to talk about. Self-driving will never go away until people really figure out how they feel about it. But the one that loops around over and over and over again is where are we really when it comes to self-driving, right?
Right.
So the new gauge is out of how far out really are we? Because people are always like, oh, we're like 30 years out. And then it was like, oh, well, maybe we're only like 10 years out. Maybe we're 5 years out. We're only 3 years out from this. So as you guys know, and if you don't know, but most people do, self-driving's already here. Okay. People already have self-driving cars. They're using them all the time. If you don't live in certain areas, you're not seeing them all the time. As we just learned through my experience of going through Accomack County and my little court thing, very new technology to them. Even as I explained how it all works, they didn't really want to hear it, which is fine. I'm over it. I was kind of over it before I even went to court. I kind of already thought how that was going to go. I didn't think that totally was going to play out in my favor.
So I did find out more about, I know we're about to sidetrack just a little bit, but you know how we were talking about the printed tickets, right? And we were wondering if everybody was coming out with it,
Right, so there's no more mistakes.
Yeah.
Right.
State troopers can't use them right now.
Oh, okay.
State troopers cover every district.
Okay.
If one district doesn't allow it, they can't use it.
Gotcha, that makes sense.
Because,
okay.
So I found out that Norfolk is actually one of the areas that is
Against it.
against it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Basically keeping it where it can't go through, and they have to
thought he
still
was
write
burping over there.
paper
He was like,
tickets just
Oh,
because
you look
of
like he was going to
Norfolk.
explode. All right.
So
Okay, makes sense.
yeah.
So when you have self-driving setups and certain areas and counties and stuff like that aren't used to it because they don't see it on a day-to-day, that causes a lot of problems. Other court systems and police officers and stuff that are in other areas that see these things all the time are a little bit used to it. So as I was talking with some officers this weekend and we were discussing self-driving, they're like, well, we see it a lot more. We're a lot more used to it. So I would say their leniency and or understanding of the systems, it may be a little bit different than other people's. Does that make sense? So that puts us into, where are we? Well, the problem with it is number one, the laws really aren't covering a lot of it statewide yet. So it leaves an officer to make the decision car side of how to deal with the system of how the car works or all that kind of stuff. That's number one. If they don't want to deal with it, well, then you're just at the mercy of that. How far are we with technology? Well, the technology is out there, but the technology is going to get deeper.
It's in levels.
Yeah, it's going to be in levels. So if you go to, say, California, you see a lot of self-driving technology everywhere. So it's just everywhere. It's everywhere.
Well, and it's the maximum too.
You got cars now that you literally get in and they drive you like an Uber that doesn't have a driver.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. But you won't see that here because it's just not.
Well, it's not the test grounds.
Here,
well,
right?
yeah, it's not popular and it's not a test ground. California is where it's been going on for so long.
Right.
And a lot of these automated systems are kind of already prefabbed, mapped out.
Absolutely. So Phoenix, California, all that kind of stuff, you see a lot of it out in that area because that's where everybody's testing. That's the test grounds for it. They got hundreds of them out there being used all the time. So it's natural to everybody. That's just everyday thing out there to them. So the question that, like I said, I get all the time is, so really, truly, how far are we? Well, the new numbers have come out and everybody's just kind of been playing around a little bit. And they're like, okay, the realistic number now, it looks like we're going to be right at close to 10 years. When I mean 10 years, 10 years means it's normal happenstance. Now, if you live out a little bit out in the country, kind of like we do, I'm not going to say that you're going to pick up a phone and, boom, there's going to be, self-driving car ride at your accessibility. And people are still by far going to be driving themselves around in 10 years. Don't get me wrong. But in city settings and stuff like that, where you have denser areas of city setting, self-driving cars are going to be pretty normal. So the vision, when you start talking
it's going to be so boring. Life's going to be so boring in a couple of years.
You think so?
I think so.
I mean,
it's just a little too simplistic, right? So it's like when you get in a car and stuff, it's kind of like a joyful ride and stuff, a scenery to a certain degree, a little thrill-wise.
Okay.
You kind of take all that away in the automated fashion.
I like looking at my passengers in the rearview mirror and.
Well, no, it's not just that. It's just it's the feel. Yeah, it's a little
weird.
That
feel so creepy.
It's more about just the feeling of.
So when you're driving, are you just staring at the people that are in the back seat of your car?
Oh, sometimes. Dude, sometimes.
How creepy is that?
Because it's funny as can be.
Why does that make me feel weird?
Because it's funny as can be. One, the passenger looks up, sees that you're not paying attention to the
right. That's right. That was like, why does that feel creepy right this second? That was like the creepiest moment I have. I just envision myself sitting in Cameron's car in the back seat, and he should be watching the road, and all of a sudden I just happen to glance up from my phone, and there's just Cameron's eyes staring at me in the rear mirror, making eye contact with me.
Just know I'm
when he
actually
should be
looking
watching
at the road. Okay.
How weird would that be?
That would be a little weird.
Yeah, that's what I envisioned when he said that. Yeah. See, he's got to think about it too. He's like, I guess that does happen. But
no, I was staring at the rearview mirror.
Oh no. But no, seriously, when you think about it and you're actually really put around, the envision for them is just there's just cars and they're wandering the roads, or they're sitting waiting for their next mission with no driver, just waiting on you and what you need. And so then there was the deeper vision when you start talking about it, and some of the shows that we've gone to, the technology shows and stuff like that, where we've sat and talked about it, is let's just say you are a personal driver, right this second.
Right.
In 10 years, you plan on retiring. You're going to retire, but you're not going to retire, okay? Their envision is, I'm going to retire, I'm off the road, I'm going to have more free time, but my car is going to continue to work for me. This is their thought process. I'm going to buy a car, and the car is advanced enough that it can continue to work for me. It's going to go pick up passengers and continue to do my job and net me income, and I don't have to be in it. It's just going to continue to be a workhorse.
Be a robot in the front that turns around.
No, it's not. No, it's just a car. They can monitor the car from home. The car goes and does what it's supposed to do.
See,
it
I
just
feel like
continuously
at a certain
picks
point,
up passengers.
I see at a certain point though, I feel like people won't own their own cars.
But
I feel like
people that are trying to do that will.
Do what?
that they want to have a service, like they're going to own their own little service.
But will they though?
That's what these people are envisioning. Though. That is the
right
vision
now.
Of the
But what
future.
I'm saying though is that if you had like Hertz or all these, dealership wise that own all these cars, or just do kind of a traveling service already and stuff. Once they buy all these automated cars and they put it in service, what's the point of you owning your own car?
So you're talking about like airplanes.
Well, not airplanes.
Let me talk about more about.
No, I'm talking about like any
talk about airplane companies. Like airplane companies, if you want to get somewhere really fast, you only got a couple companies to pick from,
Right.
and you're on an airplane. So basically, what it sounds like you're talking about is Hertz, Enterprise, and all these other companies are going to buy so many of those cars.
Kind of, yeah. Well, it's
that
like
they're going to be able to send out that those are the only companies you're going to be able to call, to the point where it's not going to be affordable or even profitable in the long run.
No, it's just,
for
it's
people
not
to
really
be able
not
to,
profitable. It's just almost what's the point of owning it? It's almost like in New York, right? It's like there's no really point to own a car in New York because it's crowded.
Everybody carpools,
there's no parking, and it's just easier to walk sometimes.
Look,
so it's like at a certain point,
it's already expensive to own a car like in a city like that. It makes more sense to do
to walk and stuff. So it's
or to have the
cars exactly. Right. But when you have all these taxi services and you have all these rent-a-car services and stuff,
but here's
once
the thing,
they own all these,
drive the price down on that. The more you have, the price is going to have to go the opposite way.
Yeah,
let me just finish all of them. But if they turn all their fleet into electric cars and they do the service and stuff, it makes no point for you to go get a car and you think you're making money off it because these services already provide so many of the cars.
So here's what's going to happen. So you're going to I guarantee what's going to end up happening is, and people have thought about this. So let's just say I want to retire, right?
Right.
And I want to buy my own car.
Right.
There is just going to be an app. I guarantee it. Somebody's just going to make an app where it just finds the closest car or whatever, and it just sends the information to that car. It doesn't care whether it's big corporation that owns 50 million cars or you own one car or whatever, and they're going to make an app where it's going to be just a complete cross the board. It just sends it out to whatever car. That's what it's going to end up being.
Right.
I'll guarantee it, and then it'll be
I got you.
That's when you then come into the. That's when you come. That's when you come into the game, and you're like, okay, well, yes, you can go and get individuals like us cars, or you can go get the big corporations, which are then going to start doing like, all right, every 5 rides, make the car come around one of our stopping points so we can clean the car and then send it back out.
There obviously is going to be like
amenities or stuff like that.
There's going to be like figuring out, but I believe that somebody like we find ways to fix everything. There's going to be ways that people never thought Uber was going to work.
No.
In a million years, they never thought that Uber was going to work and all that was going to work.
I'm not saying it's not going to work. What I'm saying, though, is that at a certain point in a consumer's perspective and stuff, it makes no sense if they do it right. For you to pay for the car, right, a $60,000 car and stuff, if other companies have so much of a fleet, say like...
I understand.
Or Hertz or whatever, they have 1,000 cars, and they push the margins so low that you really aren't making a good money renting your car out.
But if you design an app, okay, just like Uber did, that keeps the rates and all that kind of stuff, they can never ever in a million years, because taxis try to do it, push the margins down to a certain rate low enough to be able to compete. And Uber proved that because of the taxi. That's why taxis became so mad, because taxis were like, because taxis had us by hostage for so long.
Right. I
remember taking taxi cabs, and it was just god awful expensive. Like, it cost me $75 to go across town from the airport across town in a taxi cab forever, and I was just so used to paying it.
Right.
And then Uber came out, and Uber's like, "I'll take you there for $13." You guys remember?
Yeah,
remember?
I gave it to you.
I'll take you for $13. We were like, that's what happened to taxi cabs. And that was the death of taxi cabs. And then taxi cabs tried to pull all these stunts and all these laws. Nothing against taxi cab driver. It's just, you guys did it to yourself. That would be the same thing that will happen over.
It's kind of what I'm going with, right? So when Uber came out and stuff, they pushed the prices so low that it put the taxis out of business.
They didn't put them out of business. They're still around. Yeah, they had to just adjust the way they do business.
Decrease their margins wise.
Right. They did.
As well as because there's so much cars out there on Uber's platform.
Right, it is. I'm telling you, it'll be interesting the way it happens. Self-driving cars, everything. It's an interesting platform. It's just an idea. Hold that thought. I got to take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Dave Palach on Let's Talk Cars Radio. Dave will be right back.
Okay, guys, it's time to change up Liberty's commercial. Curtis couldn't make it, so Michelle Price is coming in, and she said absolutely no messing around this time. Hey, Michelle, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Hi, I'm Michelle Price from Liberty Transmission. Now, I could sit here and tell you a bunch of stuff you really don't care to hear about transmissions, but I'm not. However, if you want a great transmission at a fair price, and you want it from a family shop where a handshake still means everything, come see us at Liberty Transmission. My husband's name is on every one. How was that?
Well, I think that pretty much says it all, but just one last thing. Woo! Sorry, Michelle. Curtis made me do it.
Liberty Transmission, 233-3131. That's 233-3131. Better yet, visit them today. 5160 Singleton Way in Virginia Beach. 233-3131. Liberty Transmission.
There's something special about Napa Auto Care Centers. They're backed by the national strength of Napa. Nationwide warranties honored by thousands of locations. You know that's Napa know-how. But more importantly, your Napa Auto Care Center is independently owned and operated by neighborhood professionals who operate by a written code of ethics. Put your vehicle in the hands of ASE-certified technicians who will greet you with a smile you can trust. Visit us today.
You heard me say it, and now here's your chance. Now's the time to go find your auto garage. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to NapaBDGHRVA.com and find your all-star car care center today. That's NapaBDGHRVA.com. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, Dave from Let's Talk Cars Radio. So for the last 2 years, if you listen to the show, you've heard me talk about my dream house. It has been a great experience buying land, building my house, even selling my old house. One thing I didn't tell you about was the real estate agent that I used. I used Bob Bardem from the Perfect House team in the real estate group. It's been one of the best experiences I've ever had. Bob has been there for us from beginning to end and treated us just like family. I'm telling you, you've heard me talk about this because it has been one of the truly best experiences that I've had. If I did not choose Bob, I don't think that I would have all the best things to say about building this house. So, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, definitely give Bob a call at the Perfect House team in the real estate group. You can contact Bob at 757-464-1003. That's 757-464-1003. And I'll talk to you soon.
Nobody remembers the name J.F. Whitlow and Sons Incorporated until you need them. But when you have a toilet problem, drains back up, pipes freeze, your heat or air conditioning stops working, then you remember J.F. Whitlow and Sons. Don't forget the phone number, 399-1714. That's 399-1714. Air conditioning and heating, and all plumbing. J.F. Whitlow and Sons have been serving Hampton Roads since 1949, residential and commercial. You can always count on J.F. Whitlow and Sons to get to you fast and get the job done right the first time. Located in Portsmouth and serving all of Hampton Roads. Those who know, call J.F. Whitlow and Sons. Call them at 399-1714. That's 399-1714. J.F. Whitlow and Sons Incorporated. Welcome back to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Now, back to your host, Dave Palach.
Hey guys, welcome back. So when we were at commercial break, we were talking about the fact, and Daniel and I were kind of talking about it a little bit, probably like 2 weeks ago, I think. We never really truly got into it on the air. So when it comes to self-driving cars, it's kind of funny. You know, there's companies out there that have technology that they're trying to push for. So you know how they're trying to be like the first to achieve. And it's funny because it's the milestones that they hit are always compared to, once again, the favorite topic. I've achieved this before Tesla. We achieved this before Tesla achieved. And I always laugh, and Nathaniel and I were just debating it before on commercial break. I don't think you achieved anything before Tesla, just so you guys know. I don't insert car manufacturer here. You didn't achieve anything before Tesla. Tesla holds their cards very close to their chest because that's a smart way to do it. When you say that your milestone and you're using Tesla as your measuring stick, what does that tell you? As far as I'm concerned, what does that tell you?
It means that Tesla's already beat your measuring stick.
Right.
The measuring stick's only as long as what
Tesla allows you to be. The measuring stick is only the length that Tesla gives you to measure it by.
But to show you.
Right. You know what I mean? So I'm like, and Nathaniel and I were just having a small little debate on it, and I think he understood where I was coming from once I kind of explained. Like, look, I think Tesla already has it all figured out, but they're definitely not going to show you their hand. Let you keep on thinking that you are at this level of excellence before Tesla. Why would Tesla show you all their cards and then let you reverse engineer everything that they have? Why we wait for laws to get in place? So, for instance, if level 5 is the upper echelon of discovery of and finalization of self-driving cars, right? And Tesla's just set at level 2 right this second of self-driving cars, and somebody else says, well, we now have level 3 and we beat, them to the mark. Do you really think you beat Tesla to the mark? I would guarantee you Tesla's far above and beyond. But what good does it do for them to say, we're at level 5 now, when if the law has only brought you to allow you to use level 2 or now level 3, what's the purpose? There's no purpose for them to go any further with technology until laws and regulation catch up to that. We're so far behind in that you might as well just go ahead and leave things the way they are for a while until law catches up. Because if you release the technology you have and you can't really use it, then people are just going to take what you have, reverse engineer it, and then they'll be right up to speed with you, which is what keeps kind of happening over and over again. Now, Tesla is helping other manufacturers here and there, but it's off the back of Tesla a lot of times. So I can kind of understand. I'd rather hold everything close to my chest and not let people build off of my back and my success. Why we wait for laws to get into place? It just doesn't make any sense to do so.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's my take on it. Like, once again, I'll say they're smart. They've always been smart. And I just think it, because if I just put everything out there that I have, then all you got to do is just buy what I have, take it apart, figure out how I did it, recreate it, put it into your vehicles. Why we wait for law to catch up to allow us to use that technology that we're not even allowed to use right this second. I mean, because the technology has superseded our laws so far. I just learned that, obviously. So, I mean, hey, you can't have a car that knows to go the speed limit on its own because there's no law that says that you can use that in the court of law to say, hey, look, my car knew to do its speed limit. But once again, I'm not salty. I'm not getting into it.
It's not like by personal experience
or anything.
Hey.
So I'm just saying, it just gives you an example. So here's something kind of cool. Jump into it. So you guys know we've been talking about for years how car technology is not just self-driving side of things, but just the part of working on cars has gone, crazy. We're always trying to figure a way. Right this second, if you take your car to a repair shop because of COVID, COVID is literally like the whole
wrap around everything.
No, it goes right. COVID did to car business like the scrap your car deal did to the car business when they had the cash for clunkers. Okay, cash for clunkers killed the part market.
I remember seeing that all over TV growing up.
It was, and it absolutely messed the car market up, and so did COVID in its own way. People take their cars. I was at a repair shop this last week. Guy called in, and he's like, hey, I'm calling back on my car. I was literally standing at the counter. The guy was calling back just to get an update on the car, and I listened to my friend behind the counter. I had to tell him, not at their, way of level wanting to get things done. The part's not going to be available for his car until like August 15th. This is the quickest they can get the part for his car. Wow. That means that guy's without his car until August 15th. There's nothing you can do. Part's just not available. Can't get it.
And probably making a car payment on it while you can't drive the car.
Ding, ding, you win the chicken dinner. So what do? You're without your car. The car is useless until you can get the part for it. So as we talked, and Cam remembers this because we went deep into this is years ago, the dealerships and stuff are trying to find a way to fix this problem. One of the ways they want to do it was 3D print parts at the dealership instead of waiting for China or Japan or New Zealand, insert country here, Korea, whatever, to make the parts and ship them to America because we wait forever. Why can't we just make our parts?
Things that don't have like a heavy load of pressure on it.
Well, you want to make a control arm or whatever, something that's broken, you can make it right there on a 3D printer inside your own shop. They're doing it. this is starting to happen. They're making printers big enough, and the printers are crazy. So Nathaniel showed me a video of them making hard cast parts for cars, things instead of having to wait for somebody else to make them. They're making them right there at the repair shop. Now, right this second, it's taking 2 days to create a part, but you're not waiting.
A little over 2 days. It's
Yeah.
like 52 hours to make one part.
It was 51. The one part I watched was 51 hours. And it starts off, it has to make 6,000 passes to make the part. And it's making it at the fraction of a hair every pass is how it makes it. But once it's done, it's a cast metal part that you can put right on the car. It's
And
production
it's like
made.
powder
Told you,
aluminum.
man, I'm having my 3D printer make a 3D printer.
It's like Cameron's like, I got an idea. I'm gonna have 3D printer make 3D printers and sell 3D printers.
Yeah, I mean, like 3D printers.
So, like I
Company's
said,
name print it. I mean,
but I mean, we talked about this 3 years ago or so that they want to do that. The idea is for car manufacturers, body shops to start making fenders and stuff inside the body shops that were already color coded to the car color, and then you just hang it. They didn't have to worry about painting it anymore or anything like that. It's made, you just hang it and you can go out the door without having to worry about
smart.
it. Yeah, very, very smart idea. It's a great idea. Now let's start making all the parts, if we got a bad control arm, tie rods, stuff like that, we can just make them right there in house. It's smart,
Save a lot of
guys.
time and money.
It is. And then you don't have to have a bunch of parts on a shelf.
Right, wasting
You're only
space.
making it as you need it. It's better for the environment. It's better. I mean, so it's just it controls so many things beyond belief that you can control. It's a really, really smart idea. And we went from concept to now this is what we're doing. So it's kind of crazy. I'm pretty impressed with it. But as
The
you
way the
watch
thing
it,
works is crazy.
well, here's the thing. It's the conversation over and over again. Every time I go to a parts like convention setup or something like that, it's the same thing. It's the only big parts suppliers too that can't get parts. Like they can't get it from the people who make them the parts to stock their shelves. They can't get their hands on them. And even though we deal with some really good part warehouses, and they're like, man, we're 80% coverage. 80% coverage is great, but it's sometimes 80% coverage, but you only have so many of the 80% coverage. So if you need, let's just say 2 of you guys call for that part on the same day or within the same week, and then you're waiting for restock, you may be out of luck.
that's how recalls are going right now, where they can't get the parts. So now
Yeah,
they're making
recalls
it
are
where
crazy.
you have to do it when the vehicle is there. You have to order the part based off of the VIN number. But now dealerships are getting smart enough where they had stock before. So like they had 4 or 5 parts. So they started restricting the schedule. And then they're like, all right, so what we're going to do is when this car comes in, you're going to order the part and say, but you're going to put this part on.
Well, I was talking to my buddy over at the dealership, and they had 23, I won't say the manufacturer, of the same car on their lot waiting for the same part.
Wow.
And they've been sitting there for a month and a half. So that customer's making a payment, and he's waiting for those parts to come in so they can fix their cars. I mean, Cameron's drawing me pictures. He's going to write the manufacturer's name on a piece of paper where you guys can't see. Yeah. He knows it.
Kind of figured.
So it's just funny how that works out. And this is the times that we're in. Now, if you think that's really, really crazy to wait, it's happening to everybody. So you may have had your car for a little while and you got to take the repair shop and you're waiting for parts. You're at the dealership, you're waiting for parts, and we're in a crunch. And you know who takes the blunt on that? The guy behind the counter that has to deliver the message. He's just the messenger sometimes, and he's taking. People are mad.
Yeah, but I can smooth people.
You
I
can.
Hey, your part's not going to be available until August 23rd. I'll keep you updated, but I hope your day's going really well, and I'll talk to you soon. Click.
Click. Have you met my friend Tone? Who's that? Dial. Click. Dial Tone. But no, if that infuriates you, somebody else has come up with a really good idea how to fix this part problem so you don't have to wait for the parts. Maybe, and if you don't think waiting for a little while, like months in a parking lot, will get you frustrated, this next story will absolutely infuriate you even more if it happens to you. But you're going to have to wait until the commercial break when I come back to find out what it is. So hold tight, and I'll tell you about it.
You're listening to Dave Palach on Let's Talk Cars Radio. Dave will be right back.
Okay, guys, it's time to change up Liberty's commercial. Curtis couldn't make it, so Michelle Price is coming in, and she said absolutely no messing around this time. Hey, Michelle, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Hi, I'm Michelle Price from Liberty Transmission. Now, I could sit here and tell you a bunch of stuff you really don't care to hear about transmissions, but I'm not. However, if you want a great transmission at a fair price, and you want it from a family shop where a handshake still means everything, come see us at Liberty Transmission. My husband's name is on every one. How was that?
Well, I think that pretty much says it all, but just one last thing. Woo! Sorry, Michelle. Curtis made me do it.
Liberty Transmission, 233-3131. That's 233-3131. Better yet, visit them today. 5160 Singleton Way in Virginia Beach. 233-3131. Liberty Transmission.
There's something special about Napa Auto Care Centers. They're backed by the national strength of Napa. Nationwide warranties honored by thousands of locations. You know, that's Napa know-how. But more importantly, your Napa Auto Care Center is independently owned and operated by neighborhood professionals who operate by a written code of ethics. Put your vehicle in the hands of ASC certified technicians who will greet you with a smile you can trust. Visit us today.
You heard me say it, and now here's your chance. Now's the time to go find your auto garage. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to NapaBDGHRVA.com and find your all-star car care center today. That's NapaBDGHRVA.com. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, Dave from Let's Talk Cars Radio. So for the last 2 years, if you listen to the show, you've heard me talk about my dream house. It has been a great experience buying land, building my house, even selling my old house. One thing I didn't tell you about was the real estate agent that I used. I used Bob Bartum from the Perfect House team in the real estate group. It's been one of the best experiences I've ever had. Bob has been there for us from beginning to end and treated us just like family. I'm telling you, you've heard me talk about this because it has been one of the truly best experiences that I've had. If I did not choose Bob, I don't think that I would have all the best things to say about building this house. So, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, definitely give Bob a call at the Perfect House team in the real estate group. You can contact Bob at 757-464-1003. That's 757-464-1003. And I'll talk to you soon.
Nobody remembers the name J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated until you need them. But when you have a toilet problem, drains back up, pipes freeze, your heat or air conditioning stops working, then you remember J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Don't forget the phone number, 399-1714. That's 399-1714. Air conditioning and heating and all plumbing. J.F. Whitlow & Sons have been serving Hampton Roads since 1949. Residential and commercial. You can always count on J.F. Whitlow & Sons to get to you fast and get the job done right the first time. Located in Portsmouth and serving all of Hampton Roads. Those who know, call J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Call them at 399-1714. That's 399-1714. J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated. Welcome back to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Now, back to your host, Dave Palach.
Hey guys, welcome back. So, as promised, I was telling you, parts problem, obviously, huge problem, right? So, you can't get it, your car's sitting there, it's at a repair shop, it's at the dealership, and there's just nothing you can do other than be mad and, you know, kick the TV.
2 years later, and you're finally getting your car back.
Yeah, right. And don't, whatever you do, you know, don't kick puppies or anything like that, because that's not nice. You know, I thought about that while I was thinking about the dog incident. So, it hasn't gone away anytime soon. So let's just imagine that you're infuriated that you can't get parts. There may be a solution, and this one's probably going to infuriate a lot of people. So this is the new weird trend that's taken off. So imagine that you had a long day's worth of work, and you come home from work, and you park your car, and you go about your business.
Well, that's not where I thought you were going, but
really?
go ahead.
And you wake up the next morning, and somebody sourced your car for all the parts that are hard to find out there. On the
You know somebody's been watching him build it.
This is a new, very, very popular trend that is quickly gaining steam. Not that this has never been done before, but this is getting
More popular.
more popular and getting a lot more steam. The cars that are out there, you can go through on Google and you can find out what cars are hard to find parts. You named one of them that you wrote down on a thing. People are actually targeting the cars and sourcing the parts that you can't get on the shelf right now and taking those parts off the cars, out of people's parking driveways, apartment complexes, all that kind of stuff. They're just going and taking just the parts that are hard to find. So let's just say
we went from catalytic converters to something
Catalytic-
different, so we should be.
nothing makes it a Cadillac. It don't
Should
matter how hard you
I'm
try.
always going to say it like that. So
Everybody
Gosh.
does.
no, I thought you were going to say, imagine
The cat converter thing
Watch.
was.
Imagine you went to worked a very long day. You finally are getting off and you're driving on the highway and you're looking at the sky and you're like, man, that's some really. And then out of nowhere, you're flying in the middle of the air because you just went off of a tow truck. Did you guys see that video?
No, yeah, I saw that video.
Yes.
Yeah, that video
Dude,
where-
that's like the most Dukes of Hazzard thing I've ever seen. Like,
That's where I thought you were going
I want to
with
know.
it.
So I don't only think about that. Not to get off topic. If you guys didn't see the video where the guy did what everybody's ever, or girl, it may have been, did what everybody's ever thought about doing when you see the tow truck with the bed down, just like Gone in 60 Seconds, decided to hit the tow truck.
Does anybody know what happened?
And go flying.
Like, why'd that happen?
No, I can't get the backstory. I've looked like how it happened. Like, did they like go like,
Unconscious.
hold my beer and watch this? You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Or like,
Intentional,
yeah.
unintentional.
Yeah. So I don't know. Was it intentional?
Because the
unintentional? I
car
don't know.
flipped and everything.
Yeah, no, I saw it. I've watched it like 3 or 4 times because I mean I even sung the song in my head while I watched it too. I was like doing the Dukes of Hazzard song in my head because I watched.
Well, you
it.
see what the police report said, right? They didn't say like.
They didn't give any information.
Oh, I know,
like,
but did you
it was
see what they
very
worded it as?
indescript.
They didn't say car flew through air, was really high. No, they said it vaulted through the.
Well, there's a couple different descriptions, but nobody really gives you the play to play on it. Like they don't really tell you like how that managed to happen.
Right, what
It
led
wasn't
up
like
to it.
somebody was just like, "This is my one-time chance." Like, here we go. Hold on, Billy. You know what I mean? Like,
We about to do something crazy.
yeah, we about to do something crazy. We get ready to be YouTube famous.
You know,
what I mean?
you know, somebody was like, "There's an ambulance right there. They're really
Like,
close."
look, they set everything up for us. There's the police, there's
They're
an ambulance, there's everything we need to make this happen. Look, there's a film camera right there. They got it all there waiting for us. You know,
That was the officer's body camera. Gosh, that was
No,
not
was it?
a
Okay,
film
well, maybe. I don't know.
camera,
I'm
man.
just saying, like-
it wasn't like the film crew was like, "Oh, we didn't get the right shot. Different take."
I filmed like in my head. I was like, as I saw, all I heard was like,
Well, I was
rolling.
wondering. My question was, why was the tow truck on that side of the road if the accident was on the
but I think
other
the
side
accident
of the
was
road?
inside the median, and that was just the best way to load from
To approach?
the pool and
Okay.
load from is what they thought.
That's what I was wondering
yeah.
earlier when I saw the video.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I could think of is that's how it went down. But so, well, maybe they were going to source parts off that car. I don't know. I mean, like, but that could, it made me start thinking about, wouldn't it be easier just to go to like junkyard and source off the cars that are like
No,
waiting
because
for
somebody's
insurance
probably
claims?
already did it.
Oh,
Why don't
it's
you
probably
just-
already taken.
Like, why don't you just go like, why aren't they stealing the cars off the cars that are sitting in these yards waiting for insurance claims? Wouldn't that be an easier target than going to like,
Yeah, it would
I'm
be.
not trying to give you guys any ideas or anything. I'm just saying, like, why aren't people doing that instead
On
of
the
doing
news
what
tonight, we see that like five
Yeah, they're like, Dave gave me an idea.
crush yards robbed.
I'm just, if you guys ever been to like an IA, like where cars are sitting where they get towed, like, and they're waiting for like
Yeah.
inspect. Okay, so
there's a bunch
for
of
as far
them.
as the eye can
Yeah,
see, but
yeah,
why
there's a
nobody's
bunch
touching
of
those
them.
cars? I'm just, why are they going to apartment complexes? But apparently, like I said, it's becoming a big thing and it's happening. And
And then you try to ask about the story to
Convenience
the
is
cars,
why.
and they're like, "I have no clue."
land of opportunity, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, convenience.
I don't know.
They're like, why go down? Why travel 10 miles? Why just go down the road?
Yeah,
My neighbor got one.
man, I need a control arm. My neighbor down the street's got one.
We got to get it between 1 and 8.
I don't know, man. It's amazing to me. Like, it's none of this stuff's ever new. I think it's just the way it's reinvented or the way it comes back around. And I guess because I go, is that what we're doing? That's really what we're
So
doing?
with people stealing parts, I kind of wanted to give you, most people don't know this. You probably know it. You probably know it because you guys are car people. If you ever want to know if somebody's ever touched your car the night before, go look and see if your car has certain patterns that it flashes its lights or if it has a longer horn. So some cars, if their car...
Yes, some cars.
Yep, some cars, even if the alarm didn't go off or the handle was grabbed, sometimes it will flash the lights like a certain amount of times, or it'll play a longer like honk when you go to unlock the doors. And most people don't notice it.
It doesn't have to, it has to be an aftermarket alarm, I think, for that to do it like that, though. Most standard alarms, like just regular stock alarms, won't do that. Usually it has to be an aftermarket alarm.
I think it's stock alarms.
And
too.
now I'm gonna have to go down that rabbit hole and look now, because that's gonna make me wonder. It's funny just how many things, like the little things. So it's funny out here where we're at, in a lot of places, like when you get that humidity and you get that dew. You ever gone out, like when I used to live in an apartment, I go out and I could see where somebody put their hand on my car. I touched my
the
car and I could
fingerprints.
see it from the dew, and I'm like, man, who's been touching my car? Like you could tell somebody physically has touched
Gone up
your
there
car
and
like
looked
at night or
through
something, because the next morning dew, you can see like if they lean against it or something like that.
We had something in our front yard the other day, and a neighbor came and asked about it like a couple hours later, and we were like,
You were telling
it's
me about
right
that,
there.
that weird thing. Did somebody pick it up and just throw it in your guys' yard?
Somebody picked it up, and I guess she must have video of somebody picking it up.
Okay.
And then she didn't. She just saw somebody walk down the side of the house, and then it goes out of frame.
Gotcha.
So she didn't
Is it
know
your
where.
direct next door neighbor?
No, she's the one on the end of the corner.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So she
the
just
one with
followed the
the
pattern,
driveway
the
that-
walking pattern.
Yeah.
Best thing you can ever do is put cameras in on your driveway and stuff like that, especially if that's where your car's
Well,
sit.
the neighbor told another neighbor, and she's the neighbor that came and actually asked. She's known as like the person that knows everything in the neighborhood.
So she just sits and watches her cameras.
Watches and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's always one of those living in your
Everything.
neighborhood. Guess that's good if you want to watch your cars and know what's going on and stuff like that.
Everything.
Well, that's good. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, there is always a busybody in the neighborhood. One thing about it, there being a
But
busybody in the
the point
neighborhood
why I said that was
is
'cause
they
my-
always know everything, every card that comes and goes.
Yeah,
I mean,
Facts, they
my
know
first
friend and
thought
enemy.
though
Yeah.
was, oh, is this somebody put this in my yard? What, was somebody next to my car? You know, and I started like looking at my car, and I'm like, well, is something missing? You know,
Look, the good thing about like living in the country, as I always tell everybody, is you can't like get up a country driveway usually without somebody you hear.
Noticing
You hear them coming. Now, when you live in the city, like when we lived back in the city and we had a house, you kind of heard everything. Like to the most part, our house was pretty insulated though, so you couldn't really hear here, but. I didn't sleep a whole lot at night, so I saw a lot of more things than anything else.
you heard. I don't know if Nate heard. You heard Ian and his dad watched his neighbor's car get stolen.
Really?
So I didn't get
How
the
do you
full
watch
story,
a car
but-
get stolen?
So
You're like,
they say
they
that
thought it was somebody else.
They
or-
were working on the car, and they
Right.
watched the car just drive away, thinking it was the neighbor. And then the neighbor came out later and was like,
"Where's my car?
Where's my car?" And then they went to their cars and realized that their cars were all scummaged through and stuff.
their own vehicle? Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they were
Wow.
They were
But they were
working
right
on
there,
the
right
they
there
were
working on the car, and
working
you
on
realized
the
somebody
car.
went through their vehicles?
Yep, they said they were
Wow.
working on the car in the garage when it happened. Yep.
That's
Ballsy.
yeah, it really is, man.
I need to get the full story because I wonder if he had
crazy.
the garage door open. Because
Well,
they
I was gonna
usually
say,
have the
door's
garage
open,
door
it's
open.
right there. Like
Yeah.
it's right there. That's the craziest.
But it's crazy
thing.
that people are just taking cars.
Well, look,
They're doing it in the morning
like
now,
I've
man.
said it before. You're only keeping the honest. That's all you're
That's
doing.
all a
You're
lock
doing
is
nothing
for.
else but keeping the honest. There's nothing else. You're a thief is a thief is a thief. You're never going to stop thieves. Well, there's certain ways. Like I still don't understand why guys that have really nice cars don't put in some of the simplest little gadgets.
Oh,
to
like we were just talking
like
about.
to keep, like simplest
Don't
little
tell my
gadgets to
idea.
keep their cars from driving away. Like you can put in really simple devices to
Oh,
make it hard
I
to
can
keep
tell
the car
one
from
gadget.
driving away.
I can-
Why give it away?
No, I can tell one
Okay, all
gadget.
right, go ahead.
Not. What's the gadget that your grandpa used to have
Well, I know.
underneath the Trans Am?
Right.
Yeah.
I know. That's like I said, there's little gadgets. I'm not gonna give away all my secrets. That's what I was just trying to tell you. I'm like, I'm not gonna give away all my secrets.
Can't give that
But
one up.
no, why would I? I'm just saying there's simple ways to keep it. So, just just look into them. Get online. You can see there's a million of them online. There's simple ways to keep your car from driving away. On that note, guys, once again, it comes to the end of a show. We
went by quick.
It does. All these
Really
things go by
did.
so quick. So
About to go
remember,
have my chicken dinner.
hey, enjoy your Saturday. Sunday's right around the corner. I tell you guys all the time, spend some family time with your family. Enjoy your time with your kids. Unplug, play a board game with them, do a little bit of barbecuing, wrench out in the garage, build something creative. Send me pictures of what you're building. We love to see them. Enjoy your time with your family because it does go by fast. On that note, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys got anything before we burn out of here?
Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right, guys, we're out of here. We'll talk to you soon.